Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. It is February 22nd, and we're going to move on to day 28. I skipped day 27. I didn't like the readings in the books, and since I'm trying to get a little bit caught up, I'm skipping to the 28th. But I got to tell you, this is the big one. This is the one. If you only get one this year, this is it. So I'm going to focus on it. It's from Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to talk about this one. What he wrote for today is, you can decide within yourself how circumstances will affect you. Between what happens to you or the stimulus and your response to it is your freedom or power to choose that response. So I want to read that a second time. You can decide within yourself how circumstances will affect you. Between what happens to you or the stimulus and your response to it is your freedom or power to choose that response. So I just want to talk to you about this. If you read his books, he talks about this is the gap between stimulus and response. And our job is to make that gap wider every day, or every level that we mature or grow is really demonstrated by the ability to grow the gap between what happens to us in life and how we choose to respond to it. Most of us, me included, spend most of our life with no gap. Someone hits me, I hit you back. Someone makes me mad, I'm going to make you mad back. Make you mad back. And I'm going to do it instantly. It's without thought. It's with the reptilian brain. It's with the ego that we make. We don't make decisions. We just choose. We don't even choose. We just respond. We respond emotionally, generally with anger or frustration. And we do it without thinking. And so the concept that I love in his book is, in the gap between what happens to us and how we choose to respond to it, that gap is where we define ourselves, both inside to us and outside to others. And if there's one concept I could get through to you, it would be create a gap. Stop responding immediately. Face to face, on the phone, texting, email, however you interact with people. Grow the gap. Grow the delay between what the world throws at you and how you respond. Most of the time we would respond differently to tomorrow than we would 1 minute after the event or 1 second after the event. And my advice to you, and what I follow now, is sometimes you find out that no response is the best response. That after you really think about it and choose the response you wish to give to the world, you find out that no response is actually the best one. And so all I can really ask you to do is really think about it. And you're going to be awful at this at first. I still am terrible at it at times. So I'll give you the example where I'm most terrible is when somebody cuts me off in traffic. For some reason, that is probably the single greatest source of anger for me still. I don't know why. I know it. I'm sitting here telling you about it. And yet, today, I took my wife and daughter to the airport, and on the way back, people are cutting me off in DC traffic. And even talking to you and telling you how important gaps are, I still do it. I still get angry. I still want to respond in anger. I still want to get back at them. I mean, it's just, I'm 55 years old. I have no cares or worries in the world. And I still behave like that. I mean, that's just, doesn't that, when you hear me say this, doesn't that just sound idiotic? So try to learn. Try to get better today. When you listen to this, try to make your next situation a little bit of a gap. And then later today, make it a little bit bigger. And tomorrow, make it a little bit bigger. And just try. Like I said, you're going to be terrible at it. I've been doing this 5-6 years, and I'm still awful at it in some places. But in most places, I'm pretty good. In most places, I can hear people talk to me. And really try to hear what they're saying with their body, with their intonation. Try to get an understanding of what they're coming from or where they're coming from to make them say such a thing. And maybe to respond with some questions. and kind questions. I don't mean questions like, hey, do you know you're an asshole? Do you know you're being a jerk? Are you trying to piss me off? Right? I mean, those really aren't questions, right? Our voice goes up, so therefore it's called a question in the English language, but it's not really a question. So if there's one thing I could get you to learn in this whole set of courses through this year, it would be try to create a gap between what the world does to you or does for you and your response to it. And make sure your response becomes a measured, thought out, needed response. And the more you do that, the happier and calmer and more content you will be. The more respect you will garner from those around you. The more respect you'll garner for yourself. And in my opinion, the better you'll do in life. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what phase of life you're in. I don't care if you're in middle school or high school, or if you're a 60-year-old guy trying to figure out the end of his career. I think this is a rule that applies to every life, at any age, in any situation on the planet. Create a gap between what the world does to you or for you and how you choose to respond to that. I'm going to leave it there today, guys. That's all I've got for you. That is the most important thing out of this year, in my opinion. It's the most fundamental rule that I try to live by, and it's changed me the most. I hope it does something for you as well. Talk to you later. Bye.